Hello, everybody. Today I want to talk about something deep in my spirit. It's a pain I see in the eyes of so many people I meet, a story that echoes across our beautiful broken world. It's the story of how greed and prejudice are creating wounds so deep they threaten to tear us all apart. We live in a time of incredible wealth and innovation, yet so many are left behind, struggling just to breathe. We see skyscrapers touching the clouds, families sleep in cars just below. This isn't just an economic problem, it is a crisis of the soul, a spiritual sickness that has taken hold of our society and tells us that some lives are worth more than others. It's a lie we have been told for far too long, and it's time for us to speak the truth. This isn't a story you'll always see on the nightly news. It's quieter than that. It's the silent worry of a mother deciding between medicine for her child and putting food on the table. It's the heavy heart of a father working 2 jobs, yet still falling further behind on the rent. These are not statistics. They are human beings. They are our neighbors. They are our friends. Sometimes they are us. The systems of capitalism, when driven by pure, unchecked greed, have stopped serving the people. Instead, they demand that people serve them, sacrificing their health, their time, and their dreams just to keep the machine running. This is a profound betrayal of the human spirit, and it is a weight we can no longer afford to carry in silence. And then there is the added burden, the ancient poison of racism. So today, let's open our hearts to this truth. Let's have the courage to look at the pain, not to despair, but to understand. And it starts right here, right now, by having this conversation together. I want you to picture 2 different kitchen tables in America tonight. At the first table, there is a family. Let's call them the Jacksons. They are a beautiful black family living in a small apartment. The mother, Sarah, just got home from her 2nd job as a caregiver. The father, James, works at a warehouse, and his hours were just cut. Their 2 children are doing their homework, but it's hard to focus because they can hear their parents whispering about the bills. There's a notice on the counter for the rent, which has gone up again. Sarah is looking at a single bag of groceries, trying to figure out how to stretch it into enough meals for the rest of the week. The worry in that room is so thick you could feel it. This is not a failure of their effort, it is a failure of our system. Now, let's imagine another kitchen table, miles away, but in the same country. This table is in a grand home, maybe with a view of the city lights. Here, a family is also gathered, but their conversation is different. They talk about which exotic location to visit for the holidays, or the performance of their stock portfolio. The food on their table is abundant, organic, and delivered fresh. They have the best healthcare money can buy, and their children attend schools that open every door to the future. They are not bad people, but they are living in a completely different reality, one that is often built on the very system that is crushing the Jacksons. The wealth they enjoy is connected to the low wages James earns and the high prices Sarah pays. The heartbreak of this story is that the Jacksons are doing everything right. They work hard, they love their children fiercely, they are good neighbors, but the game is rigged against them. When the price of gas goes up, it means James has to choose between a full tank and his daughter's school trip. The story of these 2 tables is the story of America today. And we have to ask ourselves, is this truly the best we can be? I believe, with all my heart, that we can do better. Let's talk about the basics, the things every single human being needs to live a life of dignity, a roof over your head, food to nourish your body care when you get sick. These are not luxuries. They are fundamental human rights. Yet, in our world today, they have been turned into commodities, sold to the highest bidder. The greed in the system has put a price tag on survival itself. That price is rising higher and higher every single day, pushing millions of people to the breaking point. It is a silent crisis, unfolding in every town and every city, a crushing weight on the shoulders of the poor and the working class. Think about housing. A home should be a place of safety, of comfort, of belonging. For so many, it has become a source of profound anxiety. Landlords and corporations are raising rents to impossible levels. A single mother on minimum wage might spend 70 or 80% of her income just to keep a roof over her children's heads. That leaves almost nothing for food, clothes, a bus pass, anything else. People are being pushed out of neighborhoods they grew up in, forced into longer commutes and unstable living situations. The dream of owning a home now feels like a cruel fantasy for many young people. And what about food? We produce more than enough food, yet hunger is a daily reality for millions. You walk into a grocery store and the prices take your breath away. A carton of eggs, a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread. This isn't just an inconvenience, it is a public health crisis. Families buy cheaper, less nutritious food because it's all they can afford. Parents water down juice and skip meals. Then there is the terror of getting sick. A medical diagnosis can be a financial death sentence. This is not humane. This is not right. Now we have to talk about a truth that makes this whole situation even more painful. For our black brothers and sisters, every single one of these struggles is magnified by the color of their skin. For our brown brothers and sisters, every single one of these struggles is magnified by the color of their skin. Racism isn't just about mean words or hateful acts. It is a system. It is a power structure that has been built over centuries to hold people down. It's in the air we breathe and the ground we walk on. It is a prejudice, held and enforced, often by white people in positions of power, that creates barriers and inflicts pain in ways that many can never even imagine. It is a tax on the soul, paid every single day. When a black family applies for a home loan, they are more likely to be denied than a white family with the very same income and credit score. That is a fact. That is racism in action. It's not just a feeling. It's a system that keeps the door to wealth building and stability closed for so many. When a young Latino man walks into a store, he is more likely to be followed by security, treated like a suspect in his own neighborhood. This is the daily humiliation, the constant reminder that you are seen as less than, that you are judged not by the content of your character, but by the color of your skin. It's in the courtroom, where a black person is more likely to receive a harsher sentence than a white person for the exact same crime. It's in the classroom, where a young black girl's brilliance might be overlooked, or her behavior disciplined more harshly than her white classmates. It's in the doctor's office, where a black woman's pain is more likely to be dismissed or undertreated. These are not isolated incidents. They are patterns. They are the predictable outcomes of a system where white people hold a disproportionate amount of power and are often blind to the biases they carry, biases that have life and death consequences for others. And when you speak up about this, when you dare to name this injustice, you're often met with denial. You are told you're being too sensitive or playing the race card. This is a way of silencing the truth. It is a way of protecting a comfortable status quo that benefits some at the expense of others. But we cannot be silenced. We must speak the truth even when it is uncomfortable. The prejudice faced by black and brown people is real. It is destructive. And it is a moral stain on the heart of our nation that we must all work to cleanse together. So, who is responsible for all this pain? It's easy to feel like this is just the way things are, like it's some kind of natural disaster we can't control. But that is not the truth. This suffering is not an accident. It is the result of a system designed by a small group of rich and powerful elites. They are the architects of our anguish. They sit in corporate boardrooms and in the halls of government making decisions that ripple outwards, creating waves of hardship that crash down on ordinary people. They have built a world where their own comfort and wealth are the ultimate goals. These elites create and protect systems that keep wages low while their own profits soar. They fight against raising the minimum wage. What they really mean is that it will hurt their bottom line. They ship jobs overseas, leaving behind empty factories and broken communities here at home. They use their immense wealth to lobby politicians, writing laws that give them tax breaks, and creating loopholes that allow them to avoid paying their fair share. This starves our public schools, our infrastructure, and our social safety nets of the resources they desperately need to function. They have turned our democracy into a marketplace. The voices of millions of working-class people are drowned out by the roar of corporate money. Politicians who should be serving the people they represent are instead beholden to their wealthy donors. They vote against affordable health care, against climate action, against anything that might threaten the profits of the big pharmaceutical companies, the big oil companies, the big banks. They tell us that the market will solve everything, that if we just let the rich get richer, the wealth will eventually trickle down to everyone else. But we have been waiting for that trickle for decades, and all we have seen is a flood of wealth rushing upwards into the hands of a very few. This is a deliberate process. They want us to be divided. They pit working people against each other, black against white, native-born against immigrant. They use the media to stoke fear and resentment, distracting us with cultural wars while they quietly rob us blind. They want us to believe that the person struggling next to us is our enemy, so we don't look up and see who is really pulling the strings. But their greatest fear is that one day we will all wake up, look at each other, and realize that we have more in common with each other than we ever will with the elites who are designing our suffering. Now, after all of this, it would be so easy to fall into despair. It would be easy to feel helpless, to believe that these forces of greed and hate are just too powerful to overcome. And I have to tell you, there are days when my own heart feels heavy with the weight of it all. But then, I look around and I see it. It's a flicker of light in the darkness. It's a whisper of hope that refuses to be silenced. It is the incredible, unbreakable resilience of the human spirit. It is the goodness that still exists in the hearts of people. And it is the simple, powerful truth that we are stronger together than we are apart. This hope is not a passive, wishful thing. It is an active, courageous force. I see it in the community organizers who are going door to door, building power from the ground up. I see it in the young people who are marching in the streets, demanding a better future and a healthy planet. I see it in the workers who are standing together, forming unions and fighting for fair wages and safe working conditions. They are reminding us that the power does not actually belong to the elites in their towers. The true power has always belonged to the people, if only we have the courage to claim it. Hope is also found in the small, everyday acts of kindness and connection. It's the neighbor who shares groceries, the teacher who stays late, the stranger who offers a warm smile. These acts may seem small, but they are the threads that weave us together. They are a rebellion against the culture of selfishness and division. Every act of compassion, every moment of empathy is a powerful declaration that we refuse to let greed and hate win. It is a way of saying, I see you. You matter. We are in this together, and this is where our true power lies. It lies in our ability to see the humanity in each other, to look past the labels and the divisions that are designed to keep us apart. It is about a white farmer in Iowa, realizing he has more in common with a black mother in Detroit than with the billionaire CEO who is poisoning their water and closing their hospitals. It is about understanding that our struggles are connected, that a system that hurts one of us ultimately hurts all of us. Unity is not just a nice idea, it is our most essential strategy for survival and liberation. So, where do we go from here? The path forward begins with a choice. It is a choice we each have to make in our own hearts. It is the choice to turn away from the cynicism and the fear that are being sold to us every day. It is the choice to embrace kindness as a strength, not a weakness. It is the choice to believe in the possibility of a better world and to commit ourselves to being a part of building it. This is not someone else's work, this is our work. It belongs to all of us. We are the ones we have been waiting for, and our time is now. This work starts with listening. We must listen to the stories of those who are suffering, not with pity, but with empathy. We must be willing to sit with uncomfortable truths and examine our own role in these systems of injustice. For my white friends, this means listening with an open heart to the experiences of people of color, and using your privilege to challenge racism wherever you see it. For those of us with more, this means recognizing our responsibility to those with less. It means advocating for policies that create real opportunity for everyone, not just a select few. It means choosing to invest in our communities, not just our own portfolios. We must demand more from our leaders. We must vote for people who have a vision for a just and compassionate society, not just a profitable one. We must hold them accountable for their promises. We must raise our voices together and declare that healthcare, housing, food are human rights. We must insist on a living wage for all workers. We must demand an end to a justice system that treats people differently based on the color of their skin. This is not a partisan issue, this is a moral issue. It is about reclaiming our democracy for the good of all people. And finally, we must never, ever lose hope. Hope is the fuel that will carry us through the long and difficult struggle ahead. It is the belief that love is more powerful than hate, that unity is more powerful than division, and that a just future is not only possible, but inevitable, if we are willing to work for it. Let's join hands. Let's build bridges of understanding and compassion. Let's heal the wounds that have kept us apart for so long. Let us begin the work of creating a world where every single person is treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. This is our calling. This is our purpose. This is the dawn of our shared humanity.